Welcome everyone to today's live recording right here on the School of Radiance podcast. This is a really fun episode. We're going to be talking about what skincare is best for summer. And we have a live audience here, and we're going to be diving into some of the questions that you have, that you typically have, that others have too, in regards to, okay, what are some of the product tweaks that we should be making to keep up with skin hydration, to keep up with skin protection? So think sunscreen and antioxidants, to take care of things like pigmentation on the face, on the hands, to discuss things like sunless tanners. What are some of the options? What are some of the options also for concealing things on the body? And I don't know about you, but I lived a very fun childhood life, and I got some marks on my legs from having a great childhood. So what can we do to actually conceal some of these things on our body that we might want to when we're wearing things like a sleeveless shirt or shorts or a skirt? And this is going to be applicable to the ladies and gents. About 75% of you listening are ladies, 25% gents. We're all kind of on this quest to both look and feel our best, and I'm your guide here to give you that information, having worked in the rejuvenation space as an aesthetics nurse since 2011. So I know what options are available in the clinic, and then also super passionate about helping give you the information of what products and also techniques can be helpful at home, because that's going to complement what you decide to do in the clinic. And depending on like your budget, your lifestyle, your age, things you want to do, things you don't want to do, this episode is going to have lots of great tidbits of information for you. Let's get into it. One of the first questions that I received in regards to the question, what skincare is best for summer? We have a message from Carrie here, a longtime one-on-one client of mine. If you haven't yet booked a one-on-one, do so. And then also I have my summer tutorials. Super fun to show you, how exactly to use everything. Just finished using your heavy moisturizer. So now what's for summer? And I encourage Carrie to book a 30-minute follow-up with me, and I will give her additional information to continue to support her as I do for all of my one-on-one clients. The product switch when we move from fall, winter, and spring now into summer is oftentimes we want to go a little bit lighter. We might want a little bit of mattification on the skin so that we're not as shiny, because we're going to be sweating a little bit more. My recommendation for Carrie, she was using the heavy Always Radiant moisturizer, which is great. It's very hydrating. It has some brightening products. It's preserved with colloidal silver. It's a product that I've made that you can get at theschoolofradiance.com, link in description. The heavier moisturizer is actually still a great one to continue to utilize if you have more mature skin. And Carrie, you mentioned that you're 75. Now, if you're a little bit younger and you can get some breakouts sometimes, especially that time of month, you might want to switch to the light moisturizer. The names of the products are just as described: light moisturizer, heavy moisturizer, copper peptide. I'm going to talk actually about the recovery spot gel and why I think that's a good product to have in regards to setting yourself up for success for summer skin. We're going to talk a little bit about antioxidants in today's episode and some of the research between vitamin C versus carbon 60 as an antioxidant. So in a nutshell, if you have more mature skin, and Lolo, love to hear from you too. Let me know what questions you have about summer skincare. Love to hear from you, those of you who are here live. In general, if you have drier, more mature skin, you want to stick with that heavy moisturizer. If you are younger and are a little bit prone to breakout sometimes, maybe switch to the light moisturizer. Now, when it comes to dark spots on the face and on the hands, we want to think protection. We want to think antioxidants. So that's where the copper peptide serum is going to come into play. Copper peptide works as a senolytic for the skin. And I have a theory that with the qualia senolytics here, senolytics, they trigger something called autophagy. And senescent cells are essentially cells in the body that start to misbehave. It's like leaves on a tree that need to get trimmed away. And when we trigger autophagy through a cold plunge, through fasting, through saunaing, we're helping to clear out these senescent cells that are misbehaving. They can actually signal other cells to misbehave too. We don't want that cascade happening. So that's why doing regular saunaing, cold exposure, and sometimes intermittent fasting if it feels good for your nervous system, your blood sugars, and your energy levels. You can also add the qualia senolytics every 21 days. You just take 6 capsules once a day for 2 days, super easy. You can get the qualia products and a few other products I'll mention in today's episode that are in more of like the biohacking side of things over at theschoolofradiance.com/biohacking, and any skincare products you're going to find on my skin shop. So now that that's out of the way, I have a theory that the accumulation of pigmentation and browns on the skin is kind of like, and even melasma, the body isn't clearing the accumulation of melanin in the skin. So topical copper peptides work topically as a senolytic. The qualia senolytic works internally as a senolytic, as well as internally the saunaing, cold plunging, and intermittent fasting. But topically, I think it's a great idea to incorporate things like dermal rolling, copper peptide, as well as the C60 serum. I'm going to talk about vitamin C and C60 as like a comparison between the two shortly here. I think these are all going to be really helpful. Another thing that can be helpful for pigmentation is that accumulation of pigmentation on the skin. Copper peptides, dermal rolling, regular antioxidant application, regular sun protection application are going to be helpful at clearing out that cellular debris essentially, and then protecting the skin so that your melanocytes don't get triggered to make more kind of clusters of melanin, which is essentially what a sunspot, brown spot, or melasma is. Now, there's other things that we can do in the clinic to basically help break up the melanin deposits in the skin, but that's not really something that we want to do so much in the summer months. We want to focus on that more in the fall winter months, which is otherwise known as laser skin rejuvenation season. However, there are some things that we can do for the skin to clear out pigmentation, but you just can't have a tan leading up to it. Like, you don't want to have sun exposure for about 2 weeks before having pretty much any laser rejuvenation session. So that's why the fall winter is typically the best time to take care of that. But there are some options on the market, and depending on what your specific skin needs are, your budget, your lifestyle, that's something that I'm more than happy to provide insights on what to do, where to go, ongoing support, how to prepare the skin, look after it afterwards in a one-on-one. And then each season, I also talk about which rejuvenation options and specific product applications and selection each season in my seasonal skin tutorial. So some really great ways that I can continue to dive a little bit more on each of those topics, like an hour on each of those topics in the lessons, which is great. But what you can start to do right now, Carrie, is be really consistent with your washing your face, maybe adding the Bright and Clear solution. This works kind of like a toner. It's got some lactic acid, some brightening agents in it. I'm obsessed with the Bright and Clear solution. You get this on my skin shop for the entire face, neck, chest, hands, and also the body. Because of the lactic acid component in it, it really makes the skin look a little bit more glassy because it's giving some chemical exfoliation using lactic acid. Some chemicals are great for the skin. Some chemicals are not great for the skin, like preservatives, parabens, phthalates, sulfates, artificial dyes, fragrances. There's a lot of preservatives in a lot of products that we want to avoid. And so it's my job to kind of like sift through what's available on the market. And I've also made some great products too. Bright and Clear Solution is fabulous to help keep the skin hydrated and exfoliated on the face, on the body. Use it after you've done your face wash, maybe do your scrub, right? The exfoliating polish here. Then do your complexion renewal pads, a little bit of glycolic acid, really helpful for exfoliating and brightening. Followed up with Bright and Clear Solution, add an eye cream, add your copper peptide, C60 serum, your heavy moisturizer, your sunscreen, your makeup. You're probably thinking, wow, this is a lot to do. You can streamline what that routine looks like, but this is just to give you insight as to the different layers of intentionality that you can add to your summer skincare routine. Then add things at home like dermal rolling 2 to 5 times a week. Wash your face, do your rolling, apply the copper peptide, the C60 serum, your heavy moisturizer. I actually show you in my seasonal skin tutorials how to do dermal rolling. And it's a decades old practice. So for some of you who say, don't have the funds available to have a laser session, which could be anywhere from $800 to $1,800, depending on what type of technology and what your needs are. You can do some really great things at home, just very consistently, 2 to 5 nights a week. There's a lot of Carrie, all of that twice a day. Yes, Carrie is a keener behind the scenes. She's a one-on-one client, done the tutorials with me. So she actually does these things. And in the summer, we just really want to stay very dialed in with protecting the skin, with feeding and nourishing the skin, doing all these good things so that we protect the skin. And then in the fall, winter, we can actually look at rejuvenation to then help to fade that pigmentation to a little bit more, in not a more aggressive way, but in a stronger way, get that collagen and elastin stimulated as well. So just different things to focus on in the summer. Hydration, brightening, exfoliation is really key for the sun and exposure. And doing some of those more non-invasive things at home is really, really key. So you're doing the work, which is great. So what I would suggest for you, Carrie, is in the fall, winter, keep doing what you're doing. And in the fall, winter, do some lasers if it's in the budget, because that is really what's going to break down that accumulation of melanin in the skin. Again, the accumulation of melanin in the skin that's created from the melanocyte when we get exposure to UV light from the sun or even blue light from inside, which is why your skincare, your antioxidant serums, your sunscreen, while you're inside, like say, for example, you're looking at a screen all day or you're working in an office, you are getting blasted by UVA light and UVB. The blue light, the very narrow band of light is blue light, and it actually reaches very deep into the skin. And then outside, you're getting exposure to the more UVB from the sun. It's kind of like the burning rays. Speaking of burn, I'll be fully transparent. I had my glory days in the sun. I've had my glory days in the sun. About a year and a half ago, I did some work with peptides, and melanotan was one of them. Did a little research on myself and noticed I wasn't really burning. I also noticed that when I was really diligent with the advanced dermal formula that you can get on my skin shop, advanced dermal formula, aka anti-aging dermal formula, antioxidants, omegas. I've done a study on this product, by the way. I did a study on this product many years ago alongside, so simultaneously, with a plastic surgeon, Dr. Corey Goldberg, on the East Coast. I was on the West Coast, he was on the East Coast, and we both had the same results. Within a month, across the board, there was less pigmentation, so less browns, reds. Fine lines and wrinkled appear less visible, and also the redness and darkness and puffiness to the eyes was reduced in only 4 weeks. And then we presented our findings. It was actually translated in, I think, like 5 or 6 different languages. Very cool. This is a great skin product. This is one of my favorites. And I was off of it for a while because I was trialing and actually doing some other studies for a Bioptimizers product, a Premedine product, and also have done a study for the Qualia skin product. So I love it when these companies reach out to me and like, hey, Rachel, I want you to do a study. What are you finding when people are on this product for 4 and 8 weeks? And basically, to summarize my findings, is antioxidants and omegas are really lovely for the visible way that our skin can look, because the reason why I see certain antioxidants and adaptogens and collagen and all these things, omegas, make the eyes look brighter, make some of the pigmentation start to fade some of the redness, is because antioxidants internally have this effect of having an external benefit, visible benefit, which we all want, right? If we're taking something, we want to see the visible changes. Oxidative stress or inflammation typically shows on the skin through redness, darkness, and puffiness around the eyes. Redness and pigmentation on the face, okay? When we have our toxic bucket, oxidative stress, air, water, lighting, electromagnetics, eating the wrong foods, yeast, fungi, mold, heavy metals, parasites, also emotional, stress, chaos, which is usually from other people, add to the toxic bucket. When this bucket tips over, we get a manifestation of looking more tired, of the eyes looking more red, dark, and puffy, okay? What happens with seasonal shifts is what's been happening in spring. The beautiful flowers have come into full bloom, which means pollen. And I've actually come across family members who I said, take NAC, zinc, quercetin, green tea extract, just to see how you do. And they're like, wow, I didn't have seasonal allergies this year. So these antioxidants help to empty the bucket so it doesn't tip over, so you don't get that manifestation. This is just my observation. This is not medical advice. This is educational information only. If you think you have a medical condition, you must seek the guidance of a licensed physician. This is simply what I've observed and what I feel for myself as well. So the inner landscape is so key, because what happens internally tends to manifest externally within about 2 to 4 weeks. And we see this with seasonal shifts as well. So moving from fall, winter, spring, summer, there's different things that start to present themselves if we don't do certain things that makes us look a little bit more inflamed. And so I've just witnessed this in my experience, having served thousands of patients since 2011, the different common things that happen at each season. Hence why I created my seasonal skin tutorials, so that you don't make these same mistakes and you kind of make these corrections. So I really wanted to highlight the anti-aging dermal formula. You can get it on my skin shop at theschoolofradiance.com, as well as the different products here. What I want to now, Carrie says, love my new blue light glasses. Yeah, you got the Viva Rays. I love wearing those Viva Rays. I have my prescription lenses in them too. So if you wear glasses or contacts, just reach out to the Viva Ray company and say, hey, here's my lens prescription. Can you put them in? Yeah. And they're great. I love them. They're very well made glasses. I think they're pretty stylish, and blocking that blue light on your eyes, especially as you start to wind down later in the day once the sun starts to go down, is really great for your circadian rhythm so that you sleep. And I'm happy to report my sleep score last night. Oh my gosh. Okay. When you're doing things right, you should see quantifiable improvements in your sleep. Check this out. 97 sleep score. Love it. Routine, 89%. Quality, 100%. Time spent sleeping, 7 hours and 32 minutes. REM sleep, 34%, 2 hours and 35 minutes, above the average hour and a half. Deep sleep, 19%, 1 hour, 27 minutes, over the average 1 hour, 10 minutes. And my HRV was on point. What did I do last night? What do you think I did? Wore those blue light blocking glasses, focused on circadian rhythm balancing, got enough exercise in. And I love to actually consume a majority of my supplements about 2 hours before bed. That included the anti-aging dermal formula. That included magnesium. I even had my vitamin D, my vitamin K. And having enough creatine is also really key too. Shout out to creatine because, it's from a real life recording, just had something drop. Shout out to creatine, okay? Energy is such a key thing. Cellular metabolism, feeling dialed in, operating at this level. I don't want you to just cruise through life. I want you to thrive in life and to look as gorgeous and be as energized as possible. And also the sleep scores don't lie. Huge fan of Organifi creatine gummies. These are so incredibly lovely. 1.5 grams of creatine monohydrate per piece. They are the tastiest. I know it's like a well-used little package here. I have another package. These are the tastiest creatine gummies I found. Sometimes creatine gummies can have like this chalky, powdery-esque flavor to them. I don't know about you, but sometimes I like having a bit of a sweet treat. And getting it in a creatine gummy is really lovely. And it is, yeah, I love it. Calories, 22, carbs, 7 grams, total sugar, 4. I mean, I need to have some sugar. I need to have some carbohydrates in my diet because I lift weights. So I like to have it in my creatine gummy. I don't know about you. It's like makes me feel like I'm having a treat and I'm getting that creatine, which is great. So you can get the gummies, the creatine cherry gummies with vital cherry extract over at Organifi.com/Varga. Use promo code Varga and save 20%. Love those gummies. I had another company send me gummies as well. They were okay. They were like a little bit chalky. The Organifi products are just like really dialed in with their flavor profile. And I also love Drew Canoli from the company. Really great people. And they've been longtime supporters of the show, which I'm super grateful for. I take their products all the time. Okay. Blue light blocking glasses, great for sleep, great for circadian rhythm balancing. Anything you're doing that's going to improve your sleep is probably going to make you look better. Because when your body is recovering, it's going into cellular repair. You're supporting autophagy through cold, sauna, fasting, or taking senolytics. Your body's recovering faster. So say, for example, I'm at the gym and yesterday I did chest and triceps. And then the day before that, I did legs. When you start to incorporate more muscle building, more conscious effort to put on more muscle, you also are going to see it in your skin. So when it comes to skin, what skincare is best for summer, what I think is really supportive to having great skin that isn't from a skincare perspective, it's from your self-care, your exercise. You are, having that wind down. You're using your blue light blocking glasses. You're on point with your hydration, your protein, your creatine, your antioxidants, your omegas. You're getting those electrolytes. You're feeding and nourishing your body. Also, what you put in your eyes, ears, mouth, on your body is really important. But when you're doing all these things, you're going to sleep better. You're going to recover better. You're going to have more energy. You're literally going to look more radiant. It's the internal landscape, body, mind, spirit, energy. When this stuff is well taken care of and tended, which you probably are doing for your beautiful garden right now, when you care for your internal landscape, it's going to shine. But yes, we do want to, if we're thinking of the garden, we want to do, some pruning, some mowing the lawn, some weed whacking, maybe doing some fertilizer that isn't glyphosate. So when it comes to watering the lawn, that's going to be like your moisturizer, maybe switching to a lighter one in the summer. If we're doing some weed whacking, maybe that would be more in the realm of doing an at-home chemical peel. I have some great at-home options on the Skin Shop. Love the active peel system. Love the gel peel option. There's also a deeper peel, and in the tutorials, I give tutorials and expanded explanations on how to do them, so you do them properly. And then also, excuse me, and then the weed whacking is kind of going to be like more lasers or potentially injectables in the clinic for other things. And then the mowing the lawn, right? Aerating the lawn is actually a better metaphor or analogy or whatever. Mowing the lawn or aerating the lawn is like microneedling to the skin. It's like dermal rolling, which is great for pigmentation, collagen and elastin, pore size, acne scarring, and then the fertilizer. I have lots of fun with this stuff. The fertilizer is going to be more like the copper peptide for senolytics, pigmentation, anti-aging. The C60 serum on my Skin Shop, the carbon 60 serum, that is a super potent antioxidant. So what we're finding now is in the med spa space, which I've been a part of since 2011. Oh, I'm dating myself here. I think I actually look better now than when I first started in the industry because I'm doing all the internal biohacking stuff. Actually need less rejuvenation than I ever had because I'm so dialed in with the anti-aging longevity components. Is the vitamin C craze is starting to fall to the wayside. This is huge. And my colleagues in the medical aesthetic skincare space, it takes a while. I see the writings on the wall before it happens in the industry. And then sure enough, okay, now we're at this intersection of med spas joining integrative functional biohacking all under one roof. Hormones, weight loss, like now we're seeing this now. And then right now, like live happening now, we're seeing the shift from recommendations of vitamin C to now C60 based on research that the C60 carbon 60 molecule is about 125% better at being an antioxidant, right? Emptying that toxic bucket, protecting the skin underneath your sunscreen than vitamin C. This is huge. So the C60 serum that's on my Skin Shop is one that I've formulated. It's in organic olive oil. It does have like, it looks a little brown. It tastes a little peppery, but it's such a fabulous serum for the skin. Very lovely antioxidant that is kind of like that fertilizer. So antioxidants gobble up free radical damage. They gobble up the free radicals that are going to slip through your sunscreen. What impacts the skin is the light from the sun, the light from blue light, also infrared heat from being outside. So if it's hot out, if like it's windy and stuff like that, your antioxidant serum is going to help with what slips through your sunscreen and some of the free radical changes. What makes us age is shortening of our telomere length. And one of the other cool things that there was a Nobel Prize awarded for this discovery of C60, everybody, is that the carbon 60 molecule in, I think it was a lab rat or a mice study, it was a mammal study, extended life by 90%. What? We have so many incredible things that are available to us. We just need to know how to use them and what they are, and if it works with our budget lifestyle and what we're looking to achieve. So for me, and likely for you too, you just want to look and feel your best. You want the insides and the outsides to match, right? If you feel great and super vibrant on the inside and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I got some fine lines and wrinkles, some pigmentation, the skin redness, hooding to the upper eyelids, lower eye bags, sagging to the jawline, pigmentation on my arms, sagging on the inner arms. Gosh, right? It happens. We're all just, these are signs of aging, everybody. Don't beat yourself up. We all have different things that kind of bug us and that we want to do something about. And we are in such a lovely time that we have incredible at home and also in clinic options, which is exactly why you tune into the show, because I give it to you straight. All right. So the best skincare for summer, get your Senolytics on your skin in the form of copper peptide. I've made a great one. It's got colloidal silver and hyaluronic acid in it. If you're on a budget, just go for the hyaluronic acid serum. That's on my Skin Shop, the Always Radiant Skincare line is the one that I've made. Oops, touched my microphone. How do you like my new microphone, by the way? I had to get a new one because my other one got wet in my purse. So the audio is going to be like a little bit different. I would love to hear your feedback. Send me an email. Love to hear from you. Okay, so Senolytics, C60, your moisturizer, and then sunscreen. Sunscreen. We might want to mix up the sunscreen that we're using because when it comes to the spring, summer, we're getting more sun. So we probably want to use a physical sunscreen. Don't use chemical sunscreen filters. Avobenzone, oxybenzone. They kill our coral reefs, so they're probably not great for us. And they only last about 1 to 3 hours. And those are the ones that smell like sunscreen and sting your eyes. Mineral sunscreen, I'm going to preach that until the cows come home. I'm a fan of using the 20% zinc sunscreen that you can find on my Skin Shop. It's the Ultra Zinc for the face, for the body. Love that. So when I got a little extra sunshine on Sunday, my face, neck, chest, hands were fine. No problem. But my arms, however, they got a little roasty. Okay. Really surprised. I actually got a little bit burnt. It's bad for business. Anyway, what did I do? Well, I've also created this handy dandy product here, the Recovery Spot Gel. I created this one to help with what I've experienced is I actually had some red patchy skin on my neck over my clavicular lymph nodes about 1.5 years ago when I was going through a huge life transition, like massive renovations. There was forest fire smoke. I had, more toxins in my toxic bucket than I would like to admit. And then my skin showed it to me through almost like eczema or psoriasis. It was more like a red patchy, like dry, flaking. It was really annoying. Anyways, I applied my Recovery Spot Gel and my moisturizer, heavy moisturizer, and actually within about a week it was gone. That's my own testimonial. But this Recovery Spot Gel is specifically for compromised skin. So I'll use it if I get a breakout or, if you have back knee, if you get breakouts on your back, I'll put a little bit on that and it just helps with the inflammation in the skin. And also, if I'm cooking and I accidentally burn myself, I mean, who doesn't? Let's be real here. Or if you get a sunburn. So I actually put this on and actually it really helps with the sunburn. I thought I was going to be red like a lobster. I'm a little red now because I have my red light on, but I thought I was going to be red like a lobster. It's really bad. I was so disappointed in myself. And I wasn't the next day, which was great. And I utilized the Recovery Spot Gel. So it's good to have these kind of products on hand if you need them, right? A little cut, a little abrasion, I'll put that on. I think so. What's the best skincare for summer? I think the Recovery Spot Gel is a really good kind of product to have just in case you do get like a little bit of a nick or redness from a breakout or also maybe potentially a sunburn. I just had a squirrel moment. There were two beautiful little hummingbirds hanging out outside my window. All right. Tanning question. Yes, great question here. Tanning for mostly legs and arms versus body concealer. I have great news. So I went to the UK and Ireland many years ago. It's a great time. And I went into, one of their chemists. They call it chemist, right? We call it the drugstore in North America. They call it going to the chemist. Anyway, I noticed that they had these sunless tanner products on. It's like these Irish, right? Why are some of them so tanned? And they don't get a lot of sun, pretty north, right? And I came across the sunless tanning product, and it was organic and the ingredients were great. And then I used it. I was like, oh, I've been using sunless tanners since I was like 10 years old. I have stories and a half of being at gym class, having just borrowed my sister's sunless tanner, and having these fantastic looking orange streaks on my legs and knees and ankles. So I've been trialing sunless tanners for years, longer than I'd like to admit. And so the Tan Organic sunless tanners that I have on my skin shop, I love them. There's lotion, there's the mousse, there's the facial tanning oil. It's not so much an oil. I think the name is kind of like a misnomer, but it's more like a fluid, and it just gives this glow. So just a tip, and in summer tutorials, I am doing a tutorial on how to apply your sunless tanner so it looks great. A lot of little nuances to do when you are applying sunless tanners, and specifically how to use these ones. And they're my favorite. I've been using them and recommending them for years. Great ingredients, and they just give a gorgeous glow, and then they fade beautifully as well. You don't get the telltale signs of using a sunless tanner, like on your knuckles and in your nail beds and on your gym rat callus. Oh my gosh, look how bad those calluses are. I can tell. Proper weightlifting. Anyway, or on the knees or ankles, things like that. How to apply it really great so it looks fantastic. Join the spring tutorials now over at the schoolofradiance.com. Early bird pricing is happening now. I'll show you exactly how to use your sunless tanner products, peels, retinols, dermal rolling, skincare, your makeup, hair care, hair growth, everything. Carrie had cataract surgery with new lenses inserted, so no more glasses or contacts. Yeah, this is so fun when people get cataract surgery, because I've worked in ophthalmology since 2011. It's like they get a new lease on life. They can finally see things again. What happens when people have cataracts and they go and do their makeup is they typically go for like really dark hair, even though they're totally gray. They're not fooling anybody in their 80s. And then they do really dark eyebrows. Like we're talking black, right, to match the black dye. And it's the same color they're using in the eyebrows that they're using on their lash line for their eyeliner. And I have such empathy for these beautiful, fabulous ladies, but they just don't know, because with the cataracts, they can't see contrast as well. So when you see a lovely lady who clearly puts attention into her hair and makeup and outfit, but the hair is a little too dark, the eyebrows are a little too dark, the eyeliner is like really intense, it's because they simply can't see as great. So I've helped many ladies autocorrect in that state. So Carrie, glad that you can see again. Yes, very happy. Hello, Tatiana. Great to see you here. What about scrubs and acids? Is it okay during the summertime? I'm worried about pigmentation. Great question. So when I had a little too much sun on Sunday, oh my gosh, what I noticed on my skin, I was not happy about. What did I notice on my skin? I was very unhappy about this. Okay, so I had some sun exposure. It was windy. It was dry. I noticed around my eyes, it looked quite dry. And here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to know about the sun in summertime. Well, I'll talk about what I do. I am a huge fan of exfoliation all the time. Wash your face in the AM and PM, and I pretty much use the exfoliating polish that you can get on my skin shop every day. Love it. And then also, if say I'm recording and I want my skin to look extra glassy and extra fabulous, or if I'm getting some breakouts, depending on what time of the month I'm in, I'll then do the complexion renewal pads. Follow that up, bright and clear solution. Follow that up with the Always Radiant eye gel serum, copper peptides, C60 serum. You might notice actually that your hydration at the C60 serum and then your sunscreen is good. because the C60 serum is very hydrating. But if you have more mature skin and you're dealing with pigmentation, I would still add in the heavy moisturizer because it has ubiquinone in it, which is like a brightening agent, and it's going to keep the skin hydrated. So I didn't have my skin as hydrated as possible on Sunday, and it was just like the skin around my eyes looked so dry. I had a bit of like conniption. I was like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. I got to fix this. So I actually leaned into exfoliation and hydrating. I actually did the active peel system as well. So that's a peel that's in towelettes. I teach you how to do this in the summer tutorials. It's a great one. Oh, I just knocked over my rife coil. Of course. Of course I have a rife coil right next to me on my desk. This is like 100-year-old frequency technology. Huge fan of it. I literally have it like playing BD frequency next to me. Or if I want to do like detox or whatever. Great. Just an aside. So if we're in the summer, Tatiana is dealing with pigmentation. I'm personally still a fan of exfoliating. That's for me. If you're dealing with pigmentation in the summer, then, and you know that maybe you're prone to melasma, I'm also a huge fan of the anti-aging dermal formula or the brightening formula capsules internally. I've worked with clients over the years that really struggle with melasma, and at the first sign of the sun coming out, they go on that, and it just makes such a big difference. How they work is superoxide dismutase helps to basically combat oxidative stress in the body. And I have a theory that accumulation of pigmentation and melanin is just like the body isn't filtering it out, that cellular debris. That's what senolytics do internally. That's what copper peptide does as a senolytic topically. Lasers help to basically, the light gets absorbed in that patch of melanin and then fragments it. And then the body's immune system comes in and filters it out. So a couple of different ways to target pigmentation. I love to target it internally, anti-aging dermal formula, the brightening formula. Topically, copper peptide, antioxidants, sun protection. Love exfoliation because when you exfoliate, your products are going to be better absorbed. Because if you're not exfoliating, you're going to have this buildup of stratum corneum, the top cornflake layer where dirt debris gets trapped in. You put your products on, you haven't exfoliated, your products aren't going to be absorbing as well. Depending on what your specific skin needs are, though, I might make specific tweaks. So Tatiana, book a one-on-one. And if you already have, book your 30-minute follow-up with me. I'll put the link. Everything's over at theschoolofradiance.com. By the way, if you're new here, use promo code podcast15, and that will get you 15% off of your one-on-one with me. If you've already done a one-on-one, you want to get, access to what's happening, what's fresh, what to do for the summer months for your skin, join my that just ended today. Join my summer tutorials now. Early bird pricing's happening. So for sunscreen, up your mineral sunscreen to like 20%. That's why I love the Ultra Zinc for the face and body on my Skin Shop. If you don't like looking shiny, I personally love looking dewy and glassy. I love the look of it. But if you like more of a matte look, then the primer, the tinted primer one on my Skin Shop is also fabulous. So it's tinted sunscreen, has primer quality, helps to fill in pores, looks great on camera. The makeup also that I do tutorials on looks great on camera. Obviously, I'm wearing it on camera. Every time I do a photo shoot, video shoot, whatever, I always use this makeup. I just look photo camera ready every single day. It's kind of fun. If you are primarily wanting to focus on keeping pigmentation down, though, you're going to want to do more of that higher percentage of zinc, 20%, as opposed to like 10%. So just really focus on your sun protection and the internal stuff. Okay. Carrie, speaking of olive oil, do you recommend drinking it? Drinking olive oil. Well, Dr. Gundry, he's part of, Health Collaborative that I've been involved in for almost 10 years now. He's like, we should eat food so that we get olive oil. The quality of your oil really matters. Okay. So 100% organic olive oil. To my knowledge, the Costco one from California is actually one of the better ones, because most olive oils, Kirkland one, most olive oils and other oils on the market are like a mixture of oils, and they're not actually 100% that. There could be like some canola oil mixed in there. It's a really big problem these days. It's very annoying. So do I recommend drinking olive oil? Maybe not. However, I think what Dr. Gundry likes to talk about, and what some of the data says, is like a shot of olive oil a day. I'd be curious to see how much he consumes, how much olive oil he consumes. If you know, and you're here on one of these live calls, or you're booking a one-on-one or follow-up or in summer tutorials, let me know if he's ever said that. Okay, I think that's it. We covered a lot here. This is, almost an hour recording. I got through all of your questions. Last call for any final questions while I take a sip of my Danger coffee with a scoop of colostrum from Organifi, by the way. So I'm getting my pre-probiotics as well. What else do I have in here? I have some milk. I have some honey. Danger coffee. I love their branding and marketing. You might just get a little bit more dangerous. There's some truth to this, because when you are really dialed in and you're operating at this more clear, concise, intuitive, in tune level, you're more precise, you're more strategic, you have better boundaries, you can simply feel if something feels good for you or not. And when you're operating this way and you have this vitality, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with desiring to have the outside match the inside, which is where the rejuvenation side of things comes into play. And I think everybody should be very conscious of the products that they put on their bodies, because most skincare is just full of parabens, phthalates, sulfates, artificial dyes, fragrances. The Always Radiant skincare products that I formulated, they're preserved with colloidal silver. The water is 6 times filtered water. I actually haven't come across another skincare company that's doing that. 6 times filtered deionized water. We would do that in chemistry labs. And a lot of skincare products, it's actually just like tap water. When you begin formulating, you learn about all the different things on the market, and there's even fake C60 products out there. Yes, there are. Please don't buy any of your products on Amazon or eBay. The counterfeit beauty and cosmetic industry is rampant. There's a show on Netflix called Broken. It highlights this very concept. So you really want to go straight to source. That's my recommendation. So for all the products that I mentioned in today's podcast, head on over to theschoolofradiance.com. If it's a skincare product or the anti-aging dermal formula, or from Melasma, the brightening formula, get that on my Skin Shop. And if it's other things like the Danger Coffee, like the Organifi Creatine Gummies, like the Qualia Senolytics, you'll find that on my biohacking page. So I've been in the anti-aging longevity biohacking space for almost 10 years now, and worked with a lot of great companies, interviewed a ton of the founders, obviously get sent the products myself to utilize. And so what's on my biohacking page, you're going to have red light, you're going to have those blue light blockers that Carrie said she's using now, those different things from the different companies, my sauna, the Rife coils, gosh, the Lila Quantum Block, the Brain Tap. What else do I have in here? Stuff all throughout my home. If you're curious about kind of like what the home walkthrough looks like of a real biohacker, water purification, air purification, all that kind of stuff, it does make a difference. I wrote a research paper on how to reduce oxidative stress. to improve the skin, and kind of like what are the different layers that we can do that make the most sense to do first before like the fancy expensive things. And it's to purify your air, water, lighting, electromagnetics, start to test instead of gas with the foods you eat, then detox. That's why I wrote that paper. So like, this community needs a framework, because it's like all this different stuff, bright, shiny object syndrome, right? And it's really my goal for you to make better decisions and not waste your time and money, which is why I'm so passionate about showing up here to create the free content that you get here on the show, and then go into some of the deeper layers of what you might need with, say, a one-on-one for kind of like your custom cake recipe, ongoing support. So Lolo, Tatiana, I'd love to meet you. Book your one-on-one. Use promo code podcast15 over at theschoolofradiance.com. Join the summer tutorials, hour lessons, 7 lessons. We're live, catch the replays. You can watch them as many times as you want, so that you learn to apply your products efficiently. Okay? Efficiently and specifically for the summer. And then the membership is a little bit more of the deeper dive in regards to the personal development that can be done to allow you to show up in this beautiful, high vibe, radiant, glowing version of yourself. I'm all for it. How can we both look and feel our best? And what are some of the internal, emotional communication, etiquette, mindset, like how we actually show up and move through the world? It's like the cherry on top. That's the membership. What is your website, please? theschoolofradiance.com. And I'm super grateful for all of you who joined here. Great engagement, great questions. Just put the link in the chat. It's in the description of this episode as well. How to book a one-on-one, get my free skincare checklist as well. When you join my newsletter, which is the pop-up, that thing is worth its weight in gold. I just redid it too, and I'm about to re-record the free 30-minute biohacking lesson as well today. And then just a reminder, because you've been tuning into the show, use podcast 15 as your promo code at checkout for 15% off of your one-on-one with me. I'm accepting some new one-on-one clients right now. Sometimes, depending on what's happening, because I do a lot of teaching, speaking, presenting, research, depending on my availability, that ability to book one-on-ones can kind of like be a little bit limited, but I am accepting a few new clients right now. So book that one-on-one ASAP. Join summer tutorials now. Early birds happening. Save some money. I'm so excited that you're here, because I've been in the industry since 2011. I've seen the trends. I've seen the money wasters. I've seen the frustration of working with clients that have tried this, have tried that, haven't got the results that they want. It's not about one thing. It's actually about layering a number of key things that are really going to make the big difference, and not only allow you to look great, but looking great is a byproduct of feeling great. Getting things like 97 to 100 sleep scores on your 8 Sleep or Aura Ring. It's possible. It just takes attention to detail and discipline and awareness, and getting really tuned into your body with what makes you feel better. All right. That's a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look forward to meeting a number of you, catching up with some of you who are already one-on-one clients of mine. Go to your email, if you're already a one-on-one, your consultation follow-up email, and you'll find the link to book a 30-minute and then a follow-up, and then also a promo code in there as well. So, or send me an email, info@theschoolofradiance.com. Please like, subscribe, share this episode with a friend or a family member, and really happy that you stayed until the end. I know you're really kind of excited about looking and feeling your best. I know I am too. Well into my 80s and 90s. And this is the stuff that's going to make it happen. All the cool stuff that I talk about here on the School of Radiance podcast. Body, mind, spirit, energy. How can we be our most high vibe, radiant versions of ourselves, and really just project into the world our purity, our intention, our purpose, and all of that. And then we lead and live by example for the next generation that's paying close attention to what mama and dad are doing, right? So that's kind of what this is all about too, is setting the stage for the next generation. It starts with you. Love you all so much. See you again right here on the School of Radiance podcast. Bye, everybody.